What is good, y'all? It is your boy, Jonathan Dumas, and this is Highly Visible and a Little Misunderstood, the show where we talk to the people we see every day because we don't know what we miss. Finish it until we miss them. Yes, and y'all, season finale energy, lightning. Reggie, you got it in post. Lightning. We spent an entire season, y'all, chasing one tiny, impossible question. What is joy, really? And if you're new here, before we dive into everything we're going to be talking about, welcome. There's no prerequisites, even though this is a season closer. There's no secret handshakes. We're so glad and excited that you're here. If you've been rocking with us from the beginning of the season or even before that, thank you. I appreciate you. Welcome back. Shout out you. Today's episode is going to be all reflection / a remix. We're going to be sharing some of my favorite moments, free confessions, and clips from some of the brilliant folks that we had on the show that reminded us that joy is a practice, that reminded us that joy can be messy, that it is tender and occasionally late because it couldn't find parking. Bad joke. Anyways, as I said, this is a standalone episode. You don't need to go back and listen to the entire season to be with us here. We're going to actually be breaking down all kinds of things. So if something actually hits, I'm actually going to do you the favor. If you are just catching this episode, I'm going to point out where you can find the full episode so you could dive deeper into it. All right. So let's talk about what we actually learned this season, because finding joy turned out to be less step-by-step directions and more rerouting with vibes. You know what I mean? So where did we begin? We began in the body, messy, rhythmic, and delightfully offbeat. If y'all remember Brandon Howard, he started us off and he reminded us that movement is and can be sacred when it's rooted in care and not just punishment. Joy as permission to move how you move. And Imani Roberts, he showed us creativity is a muscle, not just a mood. And when we think about it, play, nostalgia, and he even uses his DJ brain, turning memories into momentum. And Abe Medoff, he brought us to those emotional ranges, deepening ourselves with that somatic lens. He reminded us that widening our emotional range in our body can make more room for joy to land. And Mimi Gonzalez, she showed us how grief and creativity can sit at the same table and offered a simple pathway. Treat creativity as a witness to grief. You can write about it, you could speak it, you could frame it. So truth-telling about that loss, about that grief that you've experienced, reopens our capacity for presence and makes gentle room for small, honest joy. And they all taught us that we didn't think our way into joy. We felt it. Then we named joy as a strategy and sanctuary. We had Janice Chulin on, and she connected public health and community. And she said that designing for well-being on purpose gives people the freedom to connect, to trust, and to heal. Ashmi Patel, our pod cousin, helped us release joy guilt, that voice in our heads that says we have to earn delight. But she gave us something. She invited us back to intuition, to the choices that we have in our lives. And then Tiffany Lamar, she reminded us that belonging isn't a location. It's the practice of being seen and known. And together, all of these conversations said joy can be resistance, it can be language, it can be a place to gather, even when life is handing out a bunch of no's. And as I think about these conversations, I don't look at them and see like joy as being naive. They weren't. On the contrary, actually, it was a radical yes, that all of these things makes room for all of our feelings. And we honored the small stuff. The tiny moments that don't trend but still save us. We had a great conversation with Lewis Bird, and he nudged us toward a solution orientation as a path to peace. Less sprinting, more steady steps, even more still searching. Then we had my sister on, Chantel Carnegie. She showed how we can rebuild our relationship with joy even when life is heavy. Small steps, daily presence, and giving ourselves permission to be exactly where we are. All of these things, the ordinary things, being consistent, showing up on purpose, sometimes showing up accidentally. All of these things, that's how joy found us again. And to be honest with y'all, there was a week when joy just stopped answering, where I just could not find it. And I kept trying to outthink it. I tried to journal harder. I tried to plan smarter. I tried to optimize my way and delight my way. Something more like a spreadsheet. Meanwhile, my body's like, yo, this is an Excel, bro. And I realized I had made a deliverable out of joy. A KPI. Something to hit instead of something to hear. And somewhere along the way, I swapped presence with perfection. And I was asking my brain to do heart work and forgetting the body has its own wisdom. Here's what actually worked this season. I started asking my body what it needed. What would feel like relief right now, in this moment? Was it movement? Was it stillness? Was it music? Was it quiet? And when I honored that answer, joy didn't just rush in. It didn't come easy either, but it definitely stopped hiding. And the epiphany moment that I had was that if I honor one honest need for myself, for my body, joy found its way in. And we can return to joy by first listening and then moving second. And with that, let's close this out, y'all. If this season taught me anything, and I'm still learning because I'm still re-listening to these episodes, it's that joy is plural. It lives in our bodies and our communities, in the loud moments and the quiet ones. And we can keep returning to it, even on the offbeat. So to every guest that loaned their language and their stories and their experience and their courage to us, thank you so much. And to you listening or watching, or not listening or watching, you remember how we started this season. If you're in your car, if you're on your walk, or while you're avoiding that one email, thank you so much for being here. Before we leave, one big favor. We are going to be taking a break. I promise you, we're not going to be taking as long of a break. But the favor I'll ask of you is follow us on YouTube and turn on those notifications, because that's where we're going to keep showing up. We're going to have mini conversations, maybe some behind the scenes moments, some community polls, quick updates, all these things. And we have a cool segment that Reggie pitched that we're going to be dropping just for y'all, only on the YouTubes. And if you only do one thing today for us, please make it that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell on YouTube so you don't miss the off-season drops. And if you're listening on audio, hit that YouTube description link. Hit that YouTube link in the description. Pop over, hit follow. Thank you so much. And y'all, I still want to hear from you. Send me your voice note finishing this sentence. Joy is. Share it with us. The link is in the description. You can email us, highlyvisiblepod@gmail.com. Can't wait to hear from y'all. Now, if you are new here and want a good next listen, I highly recommend my conversation with Tiffany. Quitting wasn't the risk. That was good. Or check out Mimi. That was a great episode. Her episode is entitled Grief Isn't the End. The direct links to those episodes are in the show notes. You can check those out there. That is it from me, y'all. Thank you so much for rocking with me this season. It has been a jam. I've loved it. Appreciate all y'all. I promise you we won't be we won't be gone for too long. I already have the theme for the next season. I'm not going to share it because I don't want to. I might change my mind. But for right now, so I know we won't be gone for long. But until next time, y'all. Peace.